Welcome to the second video of my DreamBuilder masterclass. You may have been working on your self-development for a long time, or attending a masterclass like this may be a brand new experience for you. Either way, you're in the right place. Because this is the place where you will learn how to actually live a life of abundance and freedom at a higher level than you've ever experienced. I'm Morrissey. I've been helping people just like you define and then build their dreams for over 40 years. Not only have I written 2 best-selling books and had a PBS special about living a life of greatness and achieving your dreams, but I've also spent tens of thousands of hours coaching people to achieve their greatest dreams and see those dreams come true. Now, if you missed the first video in this masterclass, I'm going to encourage you to go back and watch it. It will give you a powerful foundation for actually not just knowing about dreaming, but actually becoming a dream builder. In the first masterclass, you learned the importance of evolving your paradigm or your belief system. This is the first of 3 stepping stones that lead you to a life of abundance. And without understanding and taking that first step in the process, you won't be able to move on to the second and third step successfully. So if you haven't seen that video, here's a link to it at the top of this page, and I invite you to be sure to watch this video first and then come here to the second video. In today's masterclass, I'm going to show you how to take the second stepping stone on the path to achieving your dreams, and that's called blueprinting your dream. So there's a reason you're watching this video. You might be the person who wakes up each morning wondering what your purpose is. You might be the person who's feeling lost or alone. You might be the person who is actually feeling stuck and feeling like you've tried everything and nothing works. I know how this feels. I've been there. But then in video 1, you began to see that belief structures keep us stuck and that we can change a belief structure. It's called a paradigm. You learned that you actually can overcome limiting beliefs, that you can shift a paradigm, that you can install new paradigms. And you can create new belief structures in your mindset to help you evolve your paradigm. And you're probably thinking, well, this all sounds great, but exactly how do I do that? That's what I'm going to share with you today. I've had the amazing opportunity of helping thousands and thousands of people all over the world, just like you. So I want to assure you, you really can do this. In the last video, I told you about my struggles as a young married mom who just barely graduated from high school. I told you about the doctors who told me I had at best 6 months to live. I'd been diagnosed with kidney disease. One kidney was totally destroyed. The other had 50% destruction and active nephritis, kidney disease. And in those days, with no dialysis or transplant surgery, this diagnosis was a death sentence. Now, to try and give me a few extra months of life with my new husband and son, the doctors decided to remove one of my kidneys. They said if I could survive that surgery, then maybe I would have 6 months to live. I was terrified. I was also full of shame. I had been kicked out of high school. At the end of my junior year, I was pregnant, then I got married. I felt like I was being punished for being a bad girl. And then something happened. There was a visitor who came to my room. It was someone I'd never met before. I actually owe her so much. She helped me in such a crucial time in my life when all my hopes and dreams were lost. I'll tell you who my mystery guest was and how she helped me in just a minute. But first, let's talk about step 2 in the dream building process, blueprinting your dream. So what is a dream? A dream is a picture of what you would absolutely love in your life. You hold it in your mind. I would love this. I would love my health to be, my relationships, my vocation, my money. It's the dream of what you would love in your life. We all get results in life, whether we want those results or not. Just keep breathing and you're going to have results. When we live life passively, it seems that these results are actually happening to us. But when we take life by the reins, when we act to be in harmony with the results we want, we learn that we can actually make the results we want a reality. Now, to experience results that you want in all 4 areas of life, you're going to have results in health, relationships, vocation, and you're going to have results in time and money freedom, either time and money freedom or time and money constriction. So know this. Every innovation that advanced the world started as a dream. The printing press, the automobile, the airplane, the computer, the smartphone. And the advancement of your life with greater freedom and greater flow requires a dream, and only you can dream the dream for you. It's a vision for your life that's greater than the life you're living now. Now, the mind you think with thinks in pictures. So if I say to you, the front door to your home, if I say to you, the kitchen sink in your home, if I say to you, the bed you sleep in most often, you didn't see the letters D-O-O-R, you saw a picture of a door. You didn't see the letters S-I-N-K, you saw a picture of a sink. You didn't see the letters B-E-D in your mind, you saw a picture of a bed. And this is very important for you to know. You want to think of what you really want in your life and think of it and see it in pictures. This is the beginning of how you blueprint your dream. Ask yourself, what would I really, truly love my life to be like? What would prosperity or abundance look like in my life, in my health, in my relationships, in my vocation, in my time and money? It's not enough to just say it. If you say, I want to be out of debt, it's not enough just to say it because the mind thinks in pictures. And if I say out of debt, out of debt, out of debt, what am I seeing? I'm seeing debt. But that's not what we want. We want to be completely free to go where we want to go, do what we want to do, have what we want to have, and give what we want to give. So dream up your life in the way you would want it, not in the way you don't want it. And if you could go anywhere you wanted to go, where would that be? If you could do anything you wanted to do, what would that be? If you could give anything you want to give, what would that be? So dream up pictures of a life that you would absolutely love living. In this system of transformation, how do we dream? We ask ourselves this question: what would I love? And if I had freedom and money, what would I do? Where would I go? What would I do with that freedom? What would I do with that money? What would I want that money to do? Would you want it to help your kids go to college? Would you want it to build a fine house for your parents you've always wished for them? What would you do if you had money freedom? Would you give to causes that really matter to you? What would money do for you? Now, I needed to ask myself these same questions because I couldn't imagine a dream. When I sat alone in that hospital bed all those years ago, I couldn't imagine a dream. I was terrified. Doctors told me the best we can get you is maybe 6 more months. And the night a woman walked into my room and identified herself as a chaplain offering prayer for people who are going to have surgeries the next day, she asked me if I wanted a prayer. I was thinking, I'm being punished for being a bad girl. I don't know who we're going to pray to or how that's going to work. And actually later I would say the God of my upbringing, who was not a friendly place to go if you'd made a really big mistake, that God should take some anger management classes. But it was the only God I knew at the time. And she said, would you like somebody to pray with you? You're having surgery in the morning. And I said, okay, maybe. And she pulled her chair next to my bed, and she didn't do anything that looked like prayer to me. She talked with me. And it started this way. She asked me if I'd be willing to tell her what had been going on in my life the last year or two. And so I told her my story, how I'd gotten pregnant in high school, had a hasty marriage, got kicked out of high school, had to attend a high school with pregnant girls and delinquent boys. And when I finished, she said, Mary, everything is created twice. I had no idea what she was talking about. What do you mean? I said. And then she looked me in the eye and she said, you know this. In fact, everybody knows it. Almost nobody knows the power of knowing this. And then she said, everything in this room, the sheet covering you, the bed you're laying on, the walls, the ceiling, the floor, all the machinery you're hooked up to, first had to be a thought before it could ever become a thing. And then she said again, you know this. And then she said, I hear how much you love your little boy, but I also hear how much you've been hating yourself. You feel like you shamed yourself, you shamed your school, you shamed your family. And now with the idea that everything is created twice, could you consider the possibility that there could be a correlation between the toxicity that has been in your thoughts and the toxicity that is rampaging your body and threatening your very life? These correlations between mind and body, scientifically now, we know are real. Notice this, Mary, she said. If you think embarrassing thoughts, your cheeks get red. If you think scary enough thoughts, your heart beats faster. it doesn't mean anything scary happening. It's your thought that generates that response in your body. It doesn't mean anything embarrassing is happening. It means that when you think these thoughts, your body responds. Could it be then that if you think enough toxic thoughts about yourself, that it'll bring a similar result in your body? That it causes dangerous toxicity that goes into your body and actually threatens your life? This was so beyond anything that I had any mental framework for at that point in my life. And then she said, do you believe that we could say a prayer and this could be completely eliminated from you? That when they come to take you to surgery in the morning, they look at you and they say, you look better, get up. We'll test you. They test you and they say, we don't know what happened, but you're fine, go home. Could you believe that could happen for you? And I told her the truth. No, I didn't believe that was going to happen for me. I believed way more in my pain than a promise she was making that this could all go away. And it was just not one part of me that could believed it could go like that. I had way more belief in my pain at that point. Then she said, okay, if you can't believe you could have a complete healing tonight, could you believe that with infinite possibilities, that there has to be a possibility that with this prayer, we can sweep all that toxicity in your body that's causing the disease and placing it in the kidney that's going to get removed. And when it gets removed, instead of you getting worse, you actually start and gain and you get better. Could you believe that that's possible? Now, I didn't know if it was possible, but I could tell she believed it was possible. And I believe it was the first time in my life that I ever actually chose to believe in someone else's belief that was operating at a higher frequency than my own. This person was operating at a higher domain of understanding and life. And I looked at her and I said, well, I don't know if it's probable, but maybe it's possible. And she said, that's all we need. Let's work with that one part of you that can believe it's possible. And then she gave me a 3-part system for how to use my thinking and my emotion to produce a completely different result in my life. And then she left. Well, the next day they did the surgery. A week or two later, my numbers were stable enough. A couple of weeks later, they were stable enough that I was able to go home in an ambulance, but at my parents' house, who were watching my baby son while my husband worked, and we stayed at my parents' house. I couldn't lift my head off the pillow. I was so sick still. And I promised I would go to the urologist several times a week and they would watch my numbers. And they said, maybe now that your numbers are a little more stable, maybe you'll have a little bit more time and you could spend some of that time at home before you return here to the hospital. So I was having my numbers checked several times a week, and gradually over time, my numbers not only stabilized but slightly improved and kept improving. And 4 or 5 months later, I was sitting in a room with the doctor, the surgeon, the specialist, and everyone was having this meeting looking at my reports saying, we have no science to explain why your one kidney that was 50% destroyed with active nephritis is functioning as a full, healthy kidney. We have no science for that. So we're going to put on your medical chart, medical anomaly. And whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. That was great news, of course, for me. And that's when my life really started to change. Now, we've covered a lot today. We discussed blueprinting your dream by using pictures in your mind to visualize what can be in your future. A lot of people have asked me if they really have what it takes to blueprint their dream, if they could really use pictures in their mind to dream up a better future. Imagine being where I was, faced with fatal kidney disease, a death sentence. If these steps could work for me in that seemingly hopeless situation, with science telling me from that point of view, there was only one thing that was going to happen. It was predicted, and I was going to die. We were just working with how much time I could get. If that could work for me, it can work for you too. I promise. It starts by asking yourself these questions. What would I love in my life? Not what do I think I can have? What does my history say I can have? What do you think I can have? What does the media say we can have? What would you love? What would you love in your life? What would it look like? What would it feel like? And now I want to hear from you, please. What would you love your life to be like? Let me know in the comment section below. Writing down and defining what you would love in your life is the first step. Sharing that vision with someone else helps only if that person believes that you could have results you've never had before. Sometimes it's best to just keep our vision to ourselves until we have enough support to be able to weather other people's doubt. So please tell me what you'd love in your life. what you'd love it to look like in the comments section below. And then if you found this video helpful, share it with at least 3 people you know, especially if they're having difficulty bringing their dreams to life. In the next video, I'll tell you about the 3-part system that woman gave me that night so many years ago. You've already heard the first one. She told me I had to create a specific dream with clarity, that I had to visualize in my mind with clear pictures. That is called blueprinting your dream. The other 2 parts of her formula are what helped me to learn one of the most important lessons in my entire life. Each one of us is kind of like a radio. We vibrate at a certain frequency. Some of us vibrate higher, some of us vibrate lower. But getting to a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher dream, it's kind of like turning the dial on your radio or changing the channel on your TV, but not nearly as easy. And that's what the next video in this masterclass is all about. How do you match your vibration with the dream? I'll show you how to make that leap, how to make that channel switch to the higher frequency vibrations that you want to be able to match so that you can actually have your dream, not just dream it. But for now, go ahead and scroll down, hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you would love in your life. Tell me what you see yourself doing and having. Tell me what you see yourself, where you see yourself going and how you see yourself giving. Whatever it is that you would love in your life, scroll down, leave your comments below, and I will see you in the next video.